Given my recent performances, it truly does bewilder me as to how I'm starting this far back on the grid, but nevertheless, here we are. And given my recent performances, I think it's safe to assume that going into turn 1 with this mass of humanity is only going to end abruptly for me, as we watch 3 trucks somersault off that rock and for whatever ungodly reason, Yuichiro and I have decided to follow through. 600,000 straight down the shitter on the 6x6, but it's okay, because I did lend one of my trucks to Must D, so there's still a chance that we'll see Must D positioned well in this race, unless of course he decides to perpendicular park himself across the middle of the road. In the meantime, Picano's been checking out the Dynasty 8 real estate because he's just got back from browsing the local properties, whereas Evil Tunic's realised that for him, this race is not quite off-road enough. The leaders are getting away then as we are crawling up this hill at snail's pace. And contrary to popular belief, it's not because Mushroom Pie Man has a stranglehold on the sector, but it's because of all the dirt being kicked up, dropping the frame rate to approximately minus 60 frames per second. It is at this juncture that I highly recommend that you do not mess around with the YouTube playback settings too much, as if you do slow us down enough, it's possible we will come to a complete standstill. But someone who clearly hasn't been affected by the frame rate is Yuichiro, as he's looking to launch it down the outside of Blue Cube. I don't think he's going to do it here though, because I have seen Blue Cube run that defensive wide line. That is, of course, unless Yuichiro scores the cutback, which is going to compromise one of them coming out of this exit, and I fully intend to take advantage of whoever it may be, so a little bit of late braking, grabbing that apex and a little bit of camber is going to be required to take me into possibly the most volatile right-hander in the entire world of GTA, perhaps except for Fever Pitch's first corner in a Futo, and oh my god, look at the humanity! And just for the record, this wasn't my fault. And me and the Grandmaster Troll Mushroom Pie Man have somehow found a way through completely unscathed. So having cock-blocked the entire pack for the entirety of the first lap, Mushroom Pie Man does the sensible thing and decides to get out of my way, because the OP skills are about to be put into play, starting with a kick-up oversteer in turn 2. It's at this point where my practice partner Drubert surrendered the lead of the race to the stake source, so the stakes were getting higher. And what you're witnessing on the screen right now is pure apex perfection. Now, I'd been practicing with Blue Cube prior to the race, and he had managed to join this race as a privateer, but I did not know that he would put life and limb at risk by taking this corner quite like that. It became very apparent to me at this stage that I need to stay behind this man, because he does not care if he lives or dies. Thankfully, he just went to the he went right a little bit wide there. And are we going to see a little bit of old school racecraft coming into play here? Is a cutback going to be possible? It certainly is, but we see a little bit of GTA racecraft there as he manages to grab the artificial curbs on the side of the road. We're in the heat of battle now, going into turn 1 of lap 3. Will 2 into 1 go? It certainly will, but will 2 into rock go? That is the real question, and it certainly will not, and that's going to give Dr. Robotnik Bad Herbatnik the position. Now, no offense, but there ain't no race line when he's in front. Blocking apexes for days. But driving a straight line and you'll be gone. And that breaking point was so wrong. How's it feel to be down in 8th? There ain't no traction when you jump. And that put Crexty out the race. The chase for 5th place had begun, but it didn't last too long, 'cause Teddy left a wide open space. And if you make this more complex, I'ma block your sightlines to this apex, 'cause I'll stay defensive as long as it takes for you to make a mistake. Oh my god, what is even going on right now? I'll tell you what's going on. Macy's just gone in the pits from 3rd place, so if there is ever a time to put in the fastest lap of the race, this has been the only opportunity I've had to have some clear road, and that 2:30.9 is going to do it. I see Drubert 5 seconds up the road, so if I'm going to close to him, a stellar 2:31 is going to be necessary, and there we go. Now, I don't want to be tussling with Drubert. We agreed on a little race strategy before the race that if we came into blows, we wouldn't try to hold each other up, so I've gone and dived in the pits. And I'm quite sure I stopped at 25 there, but nevertheless, Camp Colin gave me the go-ahead at 34. And if you take a look at the minimap, it doesn't really matter anyway, because it's a barren wasteland out there, and third is certainly mine. I do not know what's happened to Macy, but he is not on the radar. We are expecting Drubert to pit anytime soon then, and looking at the minimap, he's decided to do it now. So let's see if our strategy of avoiding each other has paid off. I think friendship's about to go out the window because we are going too wide into turn 2, and he's been very generous there to have let me through. This has been a solid performance from Drubert, to say the least. He's hanging on to a bronze medal, and the last thing we want to do now is slow each other down, as the Steak Sauce is riding about 5 seconds ahead. Yet to pit, but that 2:31 flat is surely going to eat into that. And this is Steak Sauce's final lap to pit now. Let's keep an eye on the times, as we keep an eye on Drubert, who has faded further and further into the background, because this has been another 2:31. Steak Sauce is going to have done something rather magical to stay out in front here. There's no movement on the minimap, and I can't believe that I've got nothing cynical to say going into first place. Now, by the time the final lap of the race rolled around, it had started to chuck it down, so you might think that a driver in my position with a comfortable lead would start to take things a little bit easier, but that just wasn't the case for me as we engage in a 45-degree aerial sort of drift. Presumably, I can only assume trying to go for the fastest lap on the final lap of the race, despite the fact that it's chucking it down, and in the end we give up and give the millions and millions of spectators down at the final turn a celebratory drift. Because we look back and we don't see anyone there, guys, and I can't believe I'm about to announce this, but it looks like I'm heading towards my first victory of the Benefactor Championship. Thank you for joining me. That is a screen that we probably won't be seeing for any time in the near future. I'm exhausted. That money will be going on the champagne bottles tonight as I celebrate 450 levels of play in this bloody game, in what was quite a momentous race. A race in which, judging by these lap times, everybody poured their blood, sweat and tears into. I am taking that victory with pride. I'm exhausted. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.